for the war in which his papa and my papa died. Afterward, when I stole upstairs to Misha's room to take him food, Misha said, "It is time the Tsar let the people decide for themselves what is best for their country." "You are wrong," I said. "How can the people decide when they are uneducated and ignorant?" Misha asked angrily, "Whose fault is it that they are uneducated?" I told Misha that the Tsar, whom everyone called Tsar Batyushev, Little Father, was God's representative on earth and must surely know what was best for Russia. Misha's ideas were dangerous, and I worried that they would get him into trouble. Now Misha turned away from the balcony. "I'm going down into the street with the people," he said, and added in a sarcastic tone, "I want to hear what they are saying on this glorious occasion." "Misha, take me with you," I coaxed. "With your fancy clothes and your furs?" He shook his head. "Wait a moment," I pleaded. "I'll borrow something from the servants' hall." The servants were all at the windows watching the ceremony, so it was a simple thing to snatch an old wool cloak from its peg and slip away unseen. It must have belonged to a cook, because it smelled of onions and vinegar. There was little warmth in the cloak, for the wool was worn and thin. Misha gave me one of his disapproving looks when I returned. "You must always have your own way, Katya. Your mother spoils you." That taunt was an old story with Misha. I paid no attention, but followed him out a side door, hurrying to keep up, for he was stalking on ahead, pretending not to know me. I had been on the Nevsky Prospect hundreds of times, but always with Mama, or my governess, Lydia. Never before had I seen such crowds. When I finally caught up, I hung on to Misha. As the people pressed against me, I whispered to him, "They smell." Under his breath, Misha hissed, "They have no soap, and for that matter, how much water can you carry up 4 flights of stairs?" "Everyone has water in their houses," I protested. "You are a fool, Katya. You know nothing of the world." He shook off my hand and pushed his way to the front of the crowd. The sun disappeared behind dark clouds. A wet snow began to fall. I pulled the thin cloak more closely about me. An old babushka with no teeth held up a picture of the Tsar and Empress. Children waved small Russian flags, hopping from one foot to the other to keep warm. The cannons from the Peter and Paul fortress sounded a 21-gun salute. Cheers grew into a roar. The crowd pushed toward the street, carrying us with them. There, right in front of us, rolled the scarlet and gold carriage of the Tsar and Empress. Soldiers stationed along the curb stretched out their arms to hold the crowd back, but the people hurtled forward like a runaway train. I saw one of the soldiers aim his gun at the crowd, but an officer knocked it aside. The crowd were loyal subjects of the Tsar and asked nothing more than to get a little closer to the ruler they loved. The crowd poured into the street to see the carriage with its team of 6 white horses and its gold-jacketed coachman. It was a miracle that no one was caught beneath the carriage wheels. I looked up, and there was Tsar Nikolai in his uniform, golden epaulets on his shoulders, rows of brightly colored decorations splashed across his chest. He looked amused rather than frightened by the crowd, but Empress Alexandra had a look of terror on her pale face. With one hand, she clutched the diamond crown nestled on her red-gold hair, and with the other hand, she clasped a necklace with a pink pearl as large as a sparrow's egg. From the look of fear on her face, you might have thought the crowd was after her jewels. As the carriage wheeled into the entrance of the cathedral, the crowd drew back like a huge beast letting out its breath. I was giddy with excitement. I poked Misha cruelly. "There, you see? The people love the Tsar." Misha shrugged. "Even starving people like a good show, Katya. Now come inside before you get trampled and I get blamed. And Katya, you must promise not to tell your mama of our little adventure." "I promise." At the mansion, I pulled off the cloak, still damp from the wet snow. There was a tear in it. "I hope no one sees me put it back," I whispered.